Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Vermont State University Bluejays Dynasty here on YouTube. I'm Cody Shalfu, Tisbury 33 Games. Today, the Bluejays are going to be taking on Coastal Carolina and the University of Oklahoma in a doubleheader today. It's going to be a tough first season as we've already seen, as we've mentioned. So we're going to try to kind of skip through. I don't think we're going to be very competitive against either of these two teams, but we'll see. First, let's look at recruiting and see kind of where our battles are a few weeks into the season, and already we have won one of our battles. We go all the way down to the bottom here. It is Andy Tolbert, a wide receiver from Lyons, Kansas, a JUCO player. Look at the minimal scouting we have. We know he's a decent route runner, and he can truck guys, I guess. The B speed intrigues me. The catching stats aren't going to be great, and neither the ball carrying moves, but as long as he's faster than 80-something overall, I'll take it. Again, we can scroll through some of our battles here, and looks like this kicker Eric White's going to be on the run, but again, we have some strict recruiting. And if you don't know about our recruiting and how we're going to approach it, you go back to watch episode 1 where I kind of lay it out. But basically, the only guys we're going out mostly is 1-stars. The only 2-stars we're allowed to get is in the New England, New York area, also Canada, who have interest. So it's going to be a long year, and I'm just going to try to really get as many players as I can to commit, because we need everyone we can. Again, all these players, how low overall they are still way better than basically anyone that we have on our roster currently. But after reordering it, these are the guys we're going after. These are the guys we're going points. My kind of philosophy is you just max out everyone until you either have a very good lead, and then you can start going over other players. Obviously, you kind of want to prioritize some of them, but especially you don't have any of those extra points in that skill tree unlocked yet. So we'll see how we're going, but this is kind of what our board looks like. We already have one recruit committed to the Blue Jays to next season, so I can't wait to see that. Another tip I have for recruiting, I've been doing this for a long time. I like to just schedule everyone as early as possible, get everyone out of the way. There's a little bit of a strategy waiting a little bit later, so you get a little extra points, but I think I like that if you just go all in on someone and you have, so many points going into them, you can kind of get very much ahead of the game early. Usually those 5-star guys, that's when you see guys who wait a while for their commitment, but not these lower overrated guys. So that's kind of my advice here in the recruiting. Here's a look at the roster for Coastal Carolina, led by Nathan Ruffin here, a quarterback, a pocket passer that could help. But again, all of these teams, no matter how good, no matter how bad they are going to be infinitely better than us. So I think, a decent wide receiver room, chock full of decent tight ends, and the offensive line group looks solid, especially of those 2 centers there who are really good. And we'll see, man. I'm hoping just to put some points on the board every week. I think that's our goal. Really, we're going to get beat by everybody. So I think just the goal of the series and every week, at least for week 1, is to just improve on what we did last week and just try to keep the offense going. All right, so that's going to do it for our little introduction here, and let's just get right into the game. We'll see you in a minute. Hello, everyone. Welcome into the ESPN for today's NCAA football game between the Coastal Carolina Chandeliers and the Vermont State University Blue Jays. Vermont State not looking great their first go-around in the FBS level. You can see on the side, not a lot in terms of passing, not a lot in terms of running, not a lot in terms of everything. And here we are. Nathan Ruffin's going to be the quarterback for Coastal, as he finds his running back Shannon Powers over the middle for 20 yards. 2nd and 2 now. Early in the first quarter, motion man goes to the left. Ruffin packs up in the pocket, fires a strike to the left, and that is Derek Little for 24 yards. So the Shants wasting no time and putting up some big plays. Deron Clark -2 yards as he tackles Powers behind the line of scrimmage in the backfield. So a early positive play for the Blue Jays, but I'm sure that's going to go away quite early. But actually, they get a goal line stand of sorts as they're going to force Coastal Carolina into just 3 points in their first drive of the game. Jadon Warren, who has been often injured, is going to pull it and run it. It's hard with him, his big threat is his legs, or at least in terms of his overall skill set, and with that comes getting hit, with that comes getting injured, and he's going to find Everett. Everett a big run after the catch here on the screen, but some laundry on the field. We'll see what it is, and it's going to be a clipping call against the offense, so that is going to wipe out that big gain in the first down. Next play, and as you see, Warren out, Dudley in. Warren will miss the rest of the game, I believe with a concussion, and Darvion Dudley can't hit his receiver. 1st and 10 now for the hosts, and they'll put a man in motion. Ruffin's going to tuck it and run, and just weaving in and out of traffic, he'll pick up a gain of 16. Going no huddle here, 2nd and 10, a little bit later on in the first. They're going to zip it right over to Gaines, puts a man on the ground, and then Concepcion is going to pull him down by the face mask. So that's going to be a 1st down and then some. 2nd and 9, Ruffin has a man to pitch it to, and again another face mask call. This time Jarrett Sands, the backup linebacker, is the one who got a little bit too handsy. And again, these are the things that have killed Vermont State. A, just being so less talented, then B, these mental mistakes can't have it. 1st and goal. Chance trying to get into the end zone for the first time, and not if number 92, big 92, Sheldrick Landry, has anything to say about it. A one-on-one straight-up tackle, and Shannon Powers 3.3 yards per rush, and again another 3rd down stop, and it's going to be Ulysses Jackson, the captain of this defense, getting a big TFL, keep the Chants out of the end zone. They'll put up another 3 spot. You can see how rowdy this crowd is. Dudley surveys, going to fire, and that's going to be an ill-advised throw picked by Tate, and he has running room. He has an entourage in front of him as well, and he will find pay dirt. That's pick 6 for Coastal Carolina, and they're up 13-zip early in this 2nd quarter. 3rd and 8 now for the Blue Jays. Under 7 to go. Dudley will throw it once again. Over the middle, and that's caught. Darren Washington zipped it through traffic, through a tough window, able to pick it up. Allen Carter absolutely smashed John Britton, the big man, in the all-teal get-up. Absolutely floors him. 2nd 13 now. Dudley again. That's going to be a big pass. Brandon Brown, the other tight end. We've seen Jackson Brown a few times this series already, and 37 yards for Brandon. A lot of Browns on this team, hard to keep up. And that wobbler ended up finding the tight end's hands, and he'll pick up a nice game, almost 40. So flip the field for Vermont State. Let's see if they can do anything with it. 3rd and 10. Go over the middle. Everett puts a man on the ground, but can't quite get the first down. They will settle for 3 points. So Vermont State not held off the board. Powers absolutely powers through that defender, and he has space. He's going to get a big old gain plus a flag. Let's see what this is going to be called. Actually going to be going against Coastal Carolina, so a little bit of a break here for the Blue Jays, as Reginald Jones, the man, the culprit. 1st and 10 later on in the drive is going to be a swing pass over to Powers on the screen. He'll pick up 12. Keep the chains moving. Very easy to do against Vermont. They're going to go no huddle. Ruffin keeps it himself, and if he stays to the outside, he can pick up as much yards as possible, and eventually brought down, I believe, Drew Wade is the man, the safety, probably the best player on this team. Good pitch. Nash puts another man on the ground, and he will score. Sheds that last-minute tackle and gets into the end zone. 20-3 now. Coastal Carolina up at home. Hill is brought behind the first down marker. Another 3 and out for the Bluejays. Can't get anything going on offense. Ruffin, 2nd and 2 over the middle. Jones, Reginald Jones. He had a big penalty earlier. Now gets a big pickup here, basically erasing that penalty. 12 for 12 through the air. Nathan Ruffin. Doesn't take much. You don't have to have too much skill to really torch this defense. And for the first time, we see a defender get to the quarterback. Yet to have a sack so far this year. And they'll still go without one, but that's some good pressure and keep the Chanticleers to just 3 points. Carter trying to find some space and finds the earth's crust absolutely decked there. And that will be halftime. 23-3 as Vermont can't really do anything with it. Again, running the ball has been a struggle. Passing the ball has been a struggle. Catching the ball has been a struggle. And preventing anything has been a struggle. We'll see what Vermont State and Coach Holmes do in the second half. They'll start with the ball, 2nd and 12. Zip it over to Foster. He's going to split a tackle and get all the way down to about the 35-yard line. 16 yards for the new number 1 wide receiver. Their drive will stall there, though. Again, remember, we're missing Kamani McDonald, but he would not have helped there as Rob McCutcheon, the tight end, just goes freely up the middle for 35 yards. Just absolutely no one in the area, as you can see in this replay angle, and just he could have walked backwards into the end zone. Another bad drive for Vermont State on offense, and here comes a good defensive play at least, as Alfonso Chance gets roughened down to the ground, his 4th tackle of the day. Again, a pretty good textbook tackle. 1st and goal for the Chance, and they will run right by everybody. Everyone fooled on the read option. Ruffin takes 3 yards to the house. Pulls back, no one there. Easy 6. 37-3. Let's see if they can respond. They'll go over the middle. This is Jackson Brown this time. He'll pick up 15 of the 16 needed. And he'll go to 3rd and 1 here. See if they can do anything with it. 3rd and 10 later on. They're going to go deep, and that's going to be deflected and picked. Frederick now has some room to work with. See if he can get the angle. He can't, and he'll be brought down at about the 28-yard line or so. But another interception for Dudley, another turnover. And they will go right to that corner route. Thomas Coleman, beautiful route, beautiful throw, and it is 44-3. A spanking put on by Coastal Carolina. Next play, however, trying to get something going. Cedric Wiley catches and gets by his matchup. That's the linebacker on him. You can't do that. Even with how not talented this roster is, you'll get burned if you put a linebacker on a wide receiver. Touchdown, Vermont. 75 yards to the house. And that is the longest play in FBS history for the Blue Jays. He just turned it right upfield. A poor throw actually helped him there. If it was a good throw, it probably would have got picked off. But went to the back shoulder, and Cedric Wiley, 75 to the house. Again, skipping forward a little bit as the first kind of drive of this 4th quarter. Ruffin looking, and again, not quite that first sack we're looking for, but does able to get that pass not to anybody, able to disrupt that throw. Clark lined up on the left side, and Pope is going to take it. Freddie Pope, the backup quarterback, doing everything he can as backups in here in Carolina. And what should be, I think, the last little play. Yep, Pope pulls it, runs it, and a 58 spot here by Coastal Carolina. Last play of the game, and Dudley running out of room just runs back, and he'll take the sack in the game. And I'll do another ugly loss. We'll hear from Coach Holmes in a moment. Coach, negative rushing yards as a team. What it has to change for this team to really get things going? We know the sack yardage didn't help in that, but even then, that would have been a single yard rushing game. We need to run the ball. We can't really throw the ball right now. We need to run the ball at some capacity. Coach, Jadon Warren has been hurt every game so far this year. What's going on with him, and what really can you try to do? Jadon, he's trying his best out there. He's genuinely getting hurt. He's genuinely getting dinged up. This isn't a case of a guy who just doesn't want to be playing. It's kind of unlucky, just to say the least. And that is what we're going to go with. I mean, we need his legs. I think that's his best skill, or at least the most dangerous he can be is when he's running the ball as well. So without him running, we really don't go anywhere as an offense. And then if he's running and getting hurt, then it really hurts us as an offense. But yeah, Coach, you have confidence in Darvion Dudley if he can keep going. If Warren just continues to get hurt. Yeah, I mean, Darvion's on the roster for a reason. He's the one who gets put in for a reason. I think he's a good player. I think he's a fine player. I think he works well for us. I think he's solid. I think the games we've seen him play so far this year, he's looked good. I think he has not quite the same running ability, but enough running ability where we don't have to change the offense we see he's in the game. But you see every time he gets in the game, we're already down by multiple touchdowns. It's hard really for any quarterback to work under that pressure. So we're just going to have to figure it out. So we get the brakes beaten off of us against Coastal Carolina. Let's take a look at some of the league. And all right, you see Akron beating Georgia. We're going to see Akron. They beat a Power 5 team, 31-28. Buffalo, Toledo battling out. Central Michigan beating Duke. Louisiana State staying in that top 10 ranking and fighting Illini, beating Penn State 38-17. So game stats, we cannot rush the ball. -4 yards rushing all day as a team. Not one guy, as a team. Some of the other stats getting better as the weeks go by, but that's something that we cannot do. So 58-10 loss against Coastal Carolina. That'll do it for week 5. Let's hop right into week 6 against Oklahoma. Let's take a look at recruiting for week 6. Realign some points, and we have 2 big announcements, one good, one not so great. 2 commitments. One, Rodney Young, a tackle, junior college tackle, is going to be coming to Montpelier in the fall. 84 strength, which is pretty decent. Yes, he's in all his blocking, which should give him 70 ratings, and again, already way better than our 50 to 60 ratings we have on our offensive linemen. But Eric White, the kicker, the one kicker we're going off. Again, our kicker is a senior. He is going from Cortland, New York, all the way to Buffalo, New York, not going to consider the Bluejays anymore as he has committed to the Buffalo. So we'll see him for a few years in the MAC conference, and that's a tough loss, especially since we don't have another kicker to go after. We're not allowed to go after anyone after preseason, so that's going to do it. I guess our punter's going to have to do double duty coming up this year. Before we look at Oklahoma, let's look at some of the Heisman race. And it looks like it's running back central. Eric Buckley leads the way after rushing for 214 yards last week. Lamar McFadden behind him. Quinn Macy is in the 3rd slot. Tyrone Douglas, the first quarterback, a dual threat guy, 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, and then another 70 on the ground. And Matt Cunningham, a sophomore for the Alabama Crimson Tide. He another guy, 180 through the air, 101 on the ground, 3 total touchdowns, and a win against Mississippi. So we faced Oklahoma State. Now we're going to face the other half of Bedlam against Oklahoma, led by Adam Williams, 6 touchdowns on the season, 3 picks, number 10 ranked Sooners. And again, Chase Hunt, who was in the Heisman race to begin the season, has been sharing a lot with Randy Mackey. And they have a fun halfback group, 2 top receivers, and Brian Sands, a freshman, and Albert House, a junior, 3 touchdowns for him. Offensive line, again, they're going to be bolstered up, all in the mid to high 80s. Travis Williams is the guy who looks like he's doing most of the work on defense and outside linebacker. Tackles for loss leaders Derek Talley and Phil Cronin. Not a lot of sacks for this team, but they get after it from all different positions. A couple linebackers, a few defensive tackles, and defensive ends. No interceptions for this team. So turnovers looks like they are going to try to force some against us, and will be their first of the seasons, and we will meet you in Norman, Oklahoma for today's game. Welcome to Norman, Oklahoma, everybody, at Oklahoma Family Stadium. It's the Sooners. It's the Bluejays. Bluejays not looking good this year, as they have basically got stomped by every opponent. And the Oklahoma Sooners started the year off at number 3, now find themselves at number 10 overall. Points per game hasn't been there, yards hasn't been there, but they're looking for a nice little tune-up before conference plays. And we're just about to get started here in ESPN's the number 10 ranked team in the country versus the not number 10 ranked team in the country. Probably the last ranked team in the country, as Oklahoma will start off with a nice little zip pass to Brian Sands, freshman. He's putting a lot of good work in. If you saw the stats earlier, he is leading this team as a true freshman in receiving. Hurry up to the line, 3rd and 4, Oklahoma. Adam Williams back there. And he'll go right for the screen pass, and James right there. So for the second straight week, starting off with a big stop, is Vermont. Warren tucks it, runs, going to get himself a nice little gain of 8. Not hurt yet. I know we're all just ticking and waiting to see. 3rd and 1. Carter gets right back to the line of scrimmage, but nothing more. Be 4th and inches. See what Coach Holmes does, and he's going to go for it. In a game like this, you got to be aggressive. Warren surveys, going to switch something up at the line. Linebacker creeps in towards that A-gap, and they're going to blow this play up. Carter stopped and put insult to injury. He's going to get popped in the ribs, and he does not feel good as he's getting looked at by the trainers. Turnover on downs. Oklahoma takes over in fantastic field position. He's going to step right up, throw it over to Stanford. I don't think they need this good field position to score, but it doesn't hurt. As one play in, they're already in 1st and goal territory. They hurry to the line. Keep this play moving. Safety creeps in. He's going to blitz. Williams goes to the right side, and that's almost picked off. David James still looking for that first interception and the first sack of the year for any Blue Jay, and that could have been it. Next play, 2nd and goal. Richwalski on the right side of the line. Gonna go corner route. House. What a play. What a catch. Albert House. Santonio Holmes it. And that is a pretty play. Look at this one more time. Looks like the corner route right into the back pylon, and we'll see this throw. It's like they're playing a cover 2, and just a perfect throw, perfect catch, perfect toe tap. And we'll go see how Vermont State responds, and they will respond with back-to-back plays that net them negative yardage. 2nd and 10 eventually. Warren taken down. And oh no, there he is again. Screen fades and he is hobbled. He will come out of the game and not return. So it's Darvion Dudley yet again. Doesn't exactly start, but playing most of the minutes. And Hill is hit immediately and can't go anywhere. 1 yard gain on 3rd and 12, and that's not going to do you much. Williams hands it off. This is Mackey, and he has room to go. It's him and Wade will finally bring him down, but not after a gain of 36 yards. 1st and 10 with under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Williams surveys. Brian Sands, another touchdown for the freshman. His freshman campaign continues. He's looking for an All-American list. 3rd and 2. Later on, Dudley. You see how raucous this crowd is here in Norman. Dudley's going to break upfield, just evade a defender, and he's going to pick up 5 yards. Only needed 2, so the chains keep moving. I think the first down of the day for the Blue Jays. 3rd and 6, see what he does here. Zip it to the corner, and he's a phantom. It's Fenton. He is going to take this one all the way to the house. And that is not what you want to see. We're throwing touchdowns all year, but unfortunately to the wrong team. As Fenton. He's going to hunt ghosts. Pick sixes. That's his job. Washington can't hold on there later on for another drive for Vermont State. And it's just pouring on here. You see a few drops already, a few big hits. House again, tight lines. Sideline there, picks up a nice gain of 10. Both catches for House have been phenomenal. We'll jump ahead, 2nd and goal at the end of this drive, and they are 1 yard away from punching it in, and now they have officially punched it in. Chase Hunt, who was in the Heisman hunt to begin the beginning of the season, has been sharing a lot of the backfield with Randy Mackey. He'll get a touchdown, 35 zip early. Kick it over to Foster, puts on the brakes, and gets 10 yards. A good move for Kalon Foster. Not the fastest guy, but a little bit shifty. 2nd and 10, they'll go back that way, and this time that's Aaron Franklin on the right side, and he gets 13 yards on the corner route. 2nd reception for Franklin. Haven't called his name much this year. Dudley tries to get rid of it, and does, unfortunately, picked up by the opposing team, and Bryant just not even a bat's chance in hell to get him, as the Blue Jays find themselves down 6 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns early. Good play here. Foster tiptoes the sideline. We've seen a lot of these very high concentration catches by both sides today. Dudley just zips it right on the break of his route. This could be one of the final plays of the half as Dudley drops back, zips it, and another interception. Darvion cannot stop seeing red, and Wilson gets it all the way up to midfield. 4th turnover of the day for the Blue Jays, not including their turnover on downs. Williams, 4 seconds left. Back of the end zone. Brian Sands. Absolute gold. Look at this. Gets the toe down. Just one singular toe. And that's all he needs for that touchdown. The play was reviewed. Nothing came of it later on. We see already a 63-0 game in the first pick. And that's David James jumping the route. So a little bit of life-ish, kind of, maybe. But I'm not going to hold you folks. We're just going to skip on ahead in this one. There is not much good left in this game as Vermont State finds themselves down 0-77. Big tackle there, and that will end the game. So a thrashing. Vermont, for the first time this year, didn't put points on the board again against a very good team in Oklahoma, number 10 team in the country. They were looking for a warm-up right before conference play starts, and they got it. And they had to face the Bluejays of Vermont State, and Vermont State gets to go back to Vermont pretty pissed off, I would assume. So we'll hear from Coach in just a moment. Coach, this is again another time where Jadon Warren is hurt. What do the coaching staff need to do to put him in better positions? I think it's luck. I mean, I don't think that either of any coach on this staff is purposely throwing him out there if he can't go. So it's just luck at this point. I wish him all the best, and he'll be ready to go against Buffalo next week. Coach, you start conference action, the MAC conference, one of the weaker conferences. Let's just keep it real. And what are your guys' expectations here for the conference season as it gets going? Well, I think our goal every week, no matter who we're playing, is we need to improve. We want to put more points on the board, allow less points, and it doesn't have to be huge, but it can be incremental. And as long as you're getting better every day, today we didn't get better. I mean, we just didn't get better. We let up 77 points. We scored 0, the worst points either defensively or offensively we put up this year. So I know that's a really good team, a really well coached team, a prepared team, and just overall a better team. But I feel like it doesn't matter who we're facing. We should put up better numbers than that. And for conference, they're just as good. They have a top 10 ranked team in our conference. We have some of the best quarterbacks in the country in our conference. The MAC isn't what it used to be. It's going to be a slog, as it should. It's going to be a test for sure. So another embarrassing loss to a very good team. Let's look around some of these games around the country. TCU Baylor. TCU wins in a Big 12 matchup. Purdue takes down Ohio State. It's been their kryptonite the past few years. And Buffalo, another Power 5 win against Indiana. Another day with negative rushing yards, and it just has not been good at all for the past forever, it seems, since the season started. It has not been good running the ball at all. That's going to do it for this episode of the Vermont State University Dynasty. 2 losses, 2 pretty bad losses. Next episode, we're going to have our first taste of MACtion, us versus Buffalo. So make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to share this around. Again, thank you all for joining us here. Follow the links in the description, again, to my Twitter and also my broadcasting channel as well. And from here, Tisbury 33 Games, I'm Cody Shalfo. Thank you so much for joining us on this ride, and we'll see you next time.